Hey, this is going to explain how to shape your dough once it's proofed and been pre-shaped and sort of ready to go. First thing to have in place is a basket to land things. This is just a colander. Some air can get through, which is good, so it doesn't just sit and sweat. So colanders I think are a great way to do it. I tend to line mine with linen. So I have some, honestly, these are just cut up linen tablecloth scraps. I think certain kinds of towels, like linen is really the best because things don't stick to it, is what I'd recommend. In the basket, I'm also going to throw some flour. That was probably more than I needed, but more is better. Like sticky dough will ruin your day when you're trying to take something out of a basket. I'll also show you, I have oh, they're put away, but they're wicker baskets that you can get on Amazon that I will show in a later video that are also super handy. So if you have one of those, awesome, use it. But if you don't, colander and some linen or towels even can work. So before, all the shaping I've done so far and all the getting my hands wet so far have been using water to prevent sticking. Now we're going to start using flour to do that. I kind of save that till the end because you don't want to like change sort of the amount of flour in the dough by working too much flour in as you go. So that said, this dough has felt fairly sticky, so I'm going to be generous with the flour so that I don't end up stuck to it. And I'm actually going to use it on my hands too. Like I sort of get my hands floured up to try to get them as non-stick as I can. So my ball of pre-shaped dough is over here. I'm going to sort of reach in, grab it. Oop, it is sticky. Sticking to the counter. More flour. Take my time. Don't freak out. Lift it up. Plop it down onto my floured surface. So the wetter your dough is, the stickier it's going to be. Certain kinds of flour like rye and things like that are also super sticky. But if you can sort of get your dough basically in a rectangle and you get it on some flour, you're good to go. If you start getting a ton of dough on your hands, like don't be afraid to wipe it off or clean off in between. But I'm going to show you the basics. Show the basics of just get a basic round loaf. I fold it over once and fold the little ears in. And the idea is you're sort of trying to build a little tension into the dough. So there's a way to do it that I kind of liked that I'm going to just do here is called like the zipper. Whereas one end goes over, it goes over, and then I'm just going to sort of, hopefully without it sticking too much, roll it into a ball. And I'm just going to pick this thing up and sort of pull the ends in. And have a decent little ball shape. That's really it. I mean, this is not a bad shape. It's not my best shape for what was a kind of a sticky piece of dough. Before I drop it in the basket, I'm probably going to throw a little bit more flour on it just because I'm paranoid about things sticking. And then I'm going to drop it into the basket. Seam side up. This will be important later when you're ready to bake. I'm going to just try to pinch my seam shut a little bit. It will, as it sits, sort of seal itself up. I might give it a little bit more over here. Try not to like kill it with flour, but flour's good. Then I'm going to cover it up because you don't want it to get all crusty and dried out overnight. So I just sort of flip the towel over it. And that is a pre-shaped loaf. What I will do with this now is find a nice spot in the fridge. And I tend to stick it in there for 24 hours. The longer you can give dough to sit and proof and develop, you don't want to you can overdo it, but the fridge will slow it down enough where it'll just get a lot of time where the dough is sitting in the water, the flour sitting in the water, the bacteria and the yeast have time to grow slowly. That's what makes like a really flavorful dough. So at this point, it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I could bake this tomorrow night, no problem. I probably will end up baking it sometime in the morning tomorrow when it's cool out. But that's the basic of dough. And I will show the bake in my next video.